Shalom, Yahweh Hashem Yahushua brother Thumb. My brothers, Yahweh Shemal Thumb, Hashem Yahushua, the sisters. Priest and officer of 5,000 Rakab, Israelite School of UPK. Start out at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commander General Yohana. As y'all know, we've been dropping this truth since 1969, teaching so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians the truth according to the Bible. You understand? And we also been teaching the truth, about as it pertains to slavery. You know what I mean? I know everybody's getting all up in this Juneteenth or what have you like that. Everyone's Salakia. Bear with me 1 second. So yeah, Salakia. Like I said, you know what I mean? I know brothers and sisters getting caught up in this Juneteenth or what have you, you know what I'm saying? And it's supposed to be about celebrating our freedom from our oppressor. You know what I mean? Which, bear with me 1 second. As I said, Salakia, bear with me. So, brothers and sisters, because we starting to really notice the nature of our oppressor, you know what I mean? We starting to really understand and really see the character of our oppressor for what it truly is. You know what I mean? He's tried to mask it for so long and put on a front like he's such, this wonderful and peaceful and polite and respectable and civilized person. But now, we're truly coming to see that the nature of our oppressor, the character of our oppressor is, in fact, quite the contrary, just to say the least. You know what I mean? The nature of our oppressor is quite the contrary, you know what I mean, to the image that he tries to portray for himself. All right, you know what I mean? And, we see that every day, you know what I mean? We've been seeing it, UPK been teaching it since 1969. You know what I mean? We've been teaching about, our slave master being the devil that the Bible speaks of. You know what I mean? We've been teaching about it and what have you. You know what I mean? We've definitely been teaching about it and we've been bringing it up over and over. And, it's definitely a beautiful thing that, brothers and sisters all around the world are starting to wake up and see what we've been saying on them street corners since 69. You know what I mean? And acknowledge that what we've been saying is the truth. You know what I mean? And now that we're starting to acknowledge the truth that's been being dropped in regards to our oppressor, now, you know what I'm saying, we want to separate from him. You know what I'm saying? And not celebrating the 4th of July, it's a start. If we can do it and do it without compromise. If we could celebrate the 4th of July and celebrate it without compromise, then that's definitely a step moving forward. You know what I mean? That's a step in the right direction, but ultimately it's not what is necessary to really be a brother or sister that is free from the oppressor. You know what I mean? So we're gonna get into it or what have you, and really show what it means to be free. You know what I mean, from the oppressor, truthfully. Okay, and celebrating Juneteenth is although the spirit behind it might be, headed in the right direction, it's not absolute. It's not solid. You know what I'm saying? Because, that's about Abraham Lincoln and him freeing the slaves. You know what I mean? So I want to get a scripture real quick before I go into the other ones that I had lined up. I want to go into a scripture real fast. All right. Let me just bear with me 1 second. All right. Oh, I should have go there first. Matter of fact, before I go there, I'm gonna do something real quick. Bear with me. Salakia, y'all, bear with me. Okay. So let's go to John 8 and 32 real quick, all right? Go to John 8 and 32. Let me see. Da, 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 da. John chapter 8 and verse 32. Okay. All right, Salakia. John 8 and 32. And ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. You know what I mean? So knowing the truth, that's what's really going to set us free as a people. First of all, we have to acknowledge the truth. And one truth that we've neglected to acknowledge for a very long time is that our slave master is our enemy and not our friend. You understand? So long we try to make our slave master our best companion. You understand? And that's been a terrible mistake, and it's clear to see why that was a terrible mistake. But now ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. You know what I mean? So now when you start to know that the oppressor is the devil, our slave master is the devil that the Bible speaks of, meaning he's the deceiver that the Bible speaks of. You know what I mean? His job in the earth is to deceive us, the 12 lost tribes of the nation of Israel, so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. We understand that, now we are definitely making some progress. You know what I mean? Because now we ain't gonna run directly into the lion's mouth. You know what I mean? Like we've been doing for so long, just running and jumping inside of the lion's mouth and letting him sink his teeth in us. You know what I mean? Now we will flee from the lion. We will not try to join him, but we gonna flee from him, okay? And flee not in a cowardly manner, but meaning, metaphorically speaking, as separating from the predator. You know what I mean? The predator that continuously seeks to devour us and destroy us. All right? So that's a wonderful thing, and you know what I'm saying? That's definitely vital in being a free man or a free woman. You know what I'm saying? As a so-called black, Hispanic, and Native Indian, you know what I'm saying, which is that's the only people I'm ever talking to and about. All right. So let's read on. You shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. Now we have to really, like I said, understanding that, okay, boom. So now we know that the slave master is, the devil that the Bible speaks of. You know what I mean? And he's not this man that he's cracked up to be. So now what do we do from there? You know what I mean? Now it's time to, for some self-evaluation. Because, okay, although, when we are upset and we're angry or what have you, you know what I mean? Police reform is not what we need. You know what I'm saying? That's not the solution. Police reform is not the solution. The police will never reform. Okay, but what is the solution is to reform our people. You know what I mean? Understand that we have been deceived by the oppressor and been deceived and tricked out of our heritage and tricked out of our culture. And we've been joined to our oppressor spiritually by, putting on his culture and identifying ourselves by, how he's told us to identify ourselves. You know what I mean? Worshiping the gods that he's put before us and told us to worship. You know what I mean? Worshiping that Caesar Borgia. You understand? That white Jesus. You know what I mean? That Islam. All of that, getting entangled in all of these different spiritual systems. We got to separate from that also. You know what I mean? That's a major thing. And understand, like, we got to take a second look at what we've been taught. You know what I mean? Not to say that the Bible is inaccurate, but what we've been taught about the Bible is inaccurate. You understand? There are definitely inaccuracies that have been taught to our people about the Bible. Okay? So we have to go back, check the records, and sit down with the real priests and prophets of the Most High, and we will teach so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians the truth according to the Bible, and how this is your history. The Bible is your history book. This is your history records right here. You know what I mean? This is the blueprint to life for every so-called black, Hispanic, and Native Indian. You know what I mean? And you sit down with the priests and prophets for a brief moment and come with your questions or what have you, and we will gladly. Oh, Salakia. Matter of fact, bear with me. Let me call into that, John. I always do that, man. You know what I'm saying? Hold on 1 second. Let me just type it in. Okay. Go on now, son. What's going on here? Y'all bear with me.
Welcome to Uber Conference by DialPad. You are the first participant on this Uber conference. Please hold while we wait for the others to join.
Okay.
To the link to this conference by text, press 3.
I swear. All right. So, you know what I mean? Definitely, come sit down with the real priests and prophets of the Most High, and we will definitely chop it up with you and teach our people the truth. You know what I mean? And teach them how we've been lied to by the oppressor, by our slave master about, you know what I mean, who the children of Israel are, who the God of Israel is, you know what I mean, who the enemy of the Most High is, and so on and so forth. And teach all the and correct all the inaccuracies that we've been taught. You understand? And, additionally, we have to see that, well, no, I already touched on that. So let me go into the next joint that I wanted to go into. All right, let me skip over and then touch that joint real quick if I could. All right, let's go to Daniel 7th chapter. All right, I'll tell y'all where to go once I get there. All right, Daniel the 7th chapter. Let's see, Daniel 7. Okay. All right, no sweat. So this is what I was gonna get into, right? Oh, now even the truth about Juneteenth. Like I said, you know what I mean? That was about Abraham Lincoln and him restoring the Union. You know what I mean? He even said it himself. He said, if I could have, paraphrasing, if I could have brought back the Union with or without freeing the slaves, I would have done it. You know what I mean? So it was never about our oppressor trying to free us, you know what I mean? Because he was sympathetic and he empathized with our condition as being, subject under him. But for the progression of his kingdom, he saw fit that it would be more beneficial if they were united, you know what I'm saying, than divided. And if that meant that they had to free the slaves, that's what Abraham Lincoln was willing to go to. That's the extent that he was willing to go to. And that's all the Emancipation Proclamation was about. You know what I'm saying? It was never about us. You know what I mean? It was never something for us. And furthermore, if in observing that, if we do observe that and say, we celebrating the Emancipation Proclamation, you know what I mean? Now we it's almost like we taking a step forward and then we taking one back because, we should never celebrate our oppressor giving us our freedom. You know what I'm saying? We should not want him to give us freedom. Freedom is not something that you can be given. All right. So I'm going to read the scripture real quick. So let's go to Daniel 7 and 18. All right. But the saints of the Most High, who are the saints of the Most High? You go to Psalms 50 and 5 and tell you that the saints of the Most High are the Israelites. All right. But the saints of the Most High, you know what I mean? The Most High, meaning Yahweh in the Hebrew, all right? The God of Israel, shall take the kingdom. Shall take the kingdom. All right? The saints of the Most High shall take the kingdom. All right? That's what we got to do. We have to take the kingdom. You know what I'm saying? No one's going to give us the kingdom, but we have to take it. You understand? So for us to celebrate our oppressor giving us some so-called freedom, when in all reality we are not free. You know, understand? You know, if you want to be technical about it, or you just want to look at it and generally and see what we suffer and what we continue to suffer daily, you can clearly see that we are not a free people, because if we were a free people, right? When the police murder one of us in the street, we wouldn't have to go to the justice. We wouldn't have to rely on the justice system of the same people that set up that police system to be an arm of oppression to our people. You know what I mean? In order to receive justice. You know what I mean? Like when something happens to America, if, let's say an Arab or something like that, they come over here and they bomb something or something like that, or they fly into the Twin Towers. You know what I mean? Osama bin Laden flies into the Twin Towers. You know what I mean? Does America go to does he go to the Arabs, and does America go to the Arabs and say, "Hey man, we want justice, we want freedom, we want justice for what you did," and flying them planes into the Twin Towers and causing all of those deaths? You know what I mean? Is that what America does? No, and that's not what any other nation does. You know what I mean? When another nation does something like that to another nation, that is an act of war. You know what I mean? That's what it would be classified as. And when you commit an act of war, then you must go to war. You understand? So that's how that works. You know what I mean? And we don't go to war, you know what I'm saying? But just to further, emphasize that we are not free as a people. You know what I'm saying? Because if we were free as a people, we would have our own military, we would have our own government, and we would be able to enact justice for ourselves. You understand? So we are not free as a people, and that is evident. You know what I mean? So the scriptures say, but the saints of the Most High shall take the kingdom. All right, we got to take our freedom back. And taking our freedom back starts with what? Taking our freedom back comes with taking back our identity. You understand? Taking back our identity, taking back our spiritual system, and adhering to it. You know what I mean? And separating from our oppressor, and separating from the slave master. And that's the initial steps. Things will follow after that. You know what I mean? But that's what we need to do. We need to work on, becoming organized, establishing brotherhood and working out, all of the kinks that we have amongst each other. So that way we'll be able to stand firm against the enemy. You know what I mean? Right now, we can't stand firm against the enemy if we divided ourselves. Even a white man understand that. You know what I mean? He understand, man, it's better for the union to come together, you know what I mean, rather than us be divided. You know what I'm saying? So we got to acknowledge the same thing, that it's better for us to be, unified with one another, be allies, you know what I'm saying, in this warfare. And come together and join together and get organized and, have brotherhood and, laws that we abide by that keep us in place and things like that. You know what I'm saying? That keep us right. You know what I mean? That will prohibit the enemy from ever infiltrating us and being able to, divide and conquer our people. You understand? So we need to do that. All right. Or the saints shall take the kingdom. We got to take the kingdom. We got to take back our identity, and we got to take back our culture. And part of taking back our culture is, part of taking back our culture, well, a major part of it is, refraining from partaking in other cultures. You understand? We had to refrain from partaking in all of the festivities that are associated with other cultures that are specific to other nations that are not our people. You know what I'm saying? Because if we forever doing that, then we'll never have our own. We'll never really truly have our own. You know what I mean? Like, that's how that go. But so that is a part of it. You know what I mean? Not celebrating the 4th of July and things of that nature. That's a wonderful thing. You know what I mean? But also, you know what I mean, coming up out of that Christianity, coming up out that Islam, coming up out that Egyptology, coming up out of all of that garbage that has failed us miserably for, centuries. All right? So, with that being said, and possess the kingdom forever, even forever and ever. You know what I'm saying? We're going to possess the kingdom forever. Meaning we'll be, what the kingdom is, what is the kingdom? The kingdom is so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian rulership. You know what I'm saying? If we come together and we truly come together right in the sight before the Most High, then we will rule the kingdom forever. You know what I mean? We'll have dominion over the earth. We'll be the only superpower on the earth. You know what I mean? We'll be a supernatural power that is unmatched and no other nation can defeat. All right? Because we'll have the Most High on our side. All right? So, we possess the kingdom forever and ever. Yeah, our slave master will never rise to power in the earth again. Ever. You know what I mean? Once we come back to who the Lord called us to be, it will really truly be, you know what I mean, an eternal rulership under Christ, under the Most High, under Christ. You feel what I'm saying? So, I just want to pull them 2 joints real quick. I want to get that. No, I ain't going to pull that one. So now I can go into the joints that I was in. All right. So now, this is what we got to understand now, right? So our oppressor, understand, every nation really that has oppressed us as a people, you know what I mean? I know predominantly, we look at the so-called, white man as our main enemy, as we rightfully should, okay? As we rightfully should. Bear with me 1 second. We look at crazy. We look at him like, our main enemy, as we rightfully should, and it's good to do so because it is like that, right? But all of these nations had a hand in our slavery. You know what I mean? We've been a slave to every nation. You understand? So all of them will pay for the crimes that they committed, the acts of war, if you will, that they committed against our people. All right. Okay. So with that being said, we're gonna pull the scriptures, and this is true justice, and this is justice that's gonna come from where? This is justice that's not gonna come from rioting or looting or anything like that. You know what I mean? It's not going to come from, taking out a police officer and being a sniper on the rooftop and killing cops and things of that nature. It's not going to be that. But the way that we will receive justice is by the Most High, and I'm going to get into it, all right? The Lord never forgot about slavery. You know what I mean? Although we may have forgot about slavery, the Lord never did. You understand? He never did. He's just waiting for the day that he can deliver justice to so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians, you know what I mean, when we prove ourselves to be worthy of it. All right, so let's go to Exodus 21:16, all right? Exodus chapter 21 and verse 16, all right? And he that stealeth a man and selleth him, right? So he that stealeth a man, right? That's what slavery is. You steal somebody, you kidnap somebody, right? So you kidnap somebody and then you sell them, which is what our oppressor did to us during the transatlantic slave trade, which is what our oppressor did to the so-called Native American Indians. You know what I mean? To the so-called Hispanic tribes, to the so-called Haitians, to the so-called Jamaicans. You know what I mean? That's what our oppressor did. He stole us, they rounded us up, they kidnapped us. The same thing the Africans did it to us also. You know what I mean? They rounded us up and then they gave us to the white man for sugarcane and rum and all different kind of, different commodities. You know what I mean? That's how that worked. You know what I mean? And it's saved, but this is something that they've all done to us, and they kidnapped us and then they sold us. And they sold us into slavery. All right? know what I mean? You think of you when they put you on the auction block, and you know what I'm saying, and you have a grown man, grown woman, child, or whatever, what have you, and you put them on an auction block and you auction them off like they're a vintage car or something like that. You know what I mean? A rare vintage car or something like that, and you just say that, you know, I got 10, 10, 20, 20, 30, 30, 40, 40, 40. You know what I'm saying? You going to sold to, you know what I mean? We were sold like that on the auction block. You know what I mean? That's what they did. They sold us into slavery. Man, I wish I would have put some pictures up on there. Next time I'm going to put some pictures up on that thing. You know what I mean? Start trying to get pictures and videos up there. You know what I mean? We a one-man operation over here, but we're going to try to work something out for next time. All right? So, with that being said, where was we at? And he that stealeth a man and selleth him, or if he be found in his hand, he shall surely be put to death. You know what I mean? What our oppressor did to us was a death penalty offense according to the Lord. You know what I mean? Like selling us into slavery, you know what I mean? That's a death penalty offense against the Most High, you know what I mean? And then furthermore, you're going to do it against the Lord's chosen people. You know what I mean? You got to be outside of your mind, 1,000 miles or something like that. You know what I mean? It's outrageous, you know what I mean? For you to just think, okay, I'm going to do this and I'm going to get away with it. All right? So, with that being said, let me see. So that's it on that one, right? Now let's go to Revelation. We'll go to Revelation, the 13th chapter. All right. Oops. Bear with me. And we'll start at the 9th verse. All right. Revelation chapter 13 and verse 9. If any man have an ear, let him hear. I mean, like, if you have any type of understanding, then hear this. You know what I mean? Like, everybody's not able to really, you know, understand what's being said. You think we up here talking about, like we just some type of, sick and twisted cats in a cult, and we want to just enslave, white people and stuff like that. That's the perception that is had, and that we want to murder our oppressor and things like that, or what have you. When that's not exactly what we're talking about at all. You understand? And in no regard, that's what we're talking about. You know what I mean? But everyone seems to forget. Everyone seems to forget that our oppressor had us enslaved. You understand? Everyone seems to forget that our oppressor, put us on cargo slave ships, and millions upon millions of us died, on that voyage alone. You know what I mean? Everyone forgets about how much our oppressor has lynched us from trees, from light poles, and burned our houses down, and gunned us down, and our families, or what have you. Everyone seems to forget about that. You understand? And that's, this is what we're talking about. The thing we're talking about here is just justice. That's all we're talking about. You know what I mean? So if you have some understanding, then hear this. If you're able to hear this, then please do. You know what I mean? Listen to this with some understanding. Don't listen. We at a point right now where we're not even trying to save our oppressor, which is good. So I think our people will have enough understanding to be able to hear this and take it for what it rightfully is. All right? Let's read on. He that leadeth into captivity. What is captivity? Captivity is slavery. You know what I mean? Our oppressor is our captor. They captured us, and then they enslaved us. All right? He that leadeth into captivity, and they led us into captivity, led us into slavery. They put us on the slave ships, and they put the Native Indians on slave ships. They sailed them off to Spain. You know what I mean? And they led us into captivity. All right? Shall go into captivity. So whoever does that, whoever leads someone into captivity or leads someone into slavery, like our oppressor led the Native Americans and the Hispanic tribes, you know what I mean, and so-called blacks and Haitians and Jamaicans into slavery, you know what I mean, they are going to, whoever did that to our people should go into slavery. That's only the right thing. You know what I mean? That's only the right thing. And that's why the Most High is just. You know what I mean? You ask any Christian if the Most High is a just God, they're going to tell you yes. Brother, tell me this. Is the Most High a just God? Well, yes, he is, brother. You know what I mean? Well, if the Most High is a just God, why would he allow so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians to be led into slavery without anyone ever having to pay for that? You know what I mean? Why can Osama bin Laden pay for, taking out the Twin Towers and killing 3,000 people or what have you? Why can him and all the Arabs pay for his crime and that be deemed as justice? You know what I mean? Why can that be? And that's a good thing. We have a moment of silence. We are able to rest now that Osama is caught. You know what I mean? Why can the Boston bombers? Why can they, be killed by the police? Why can they be sought and hunt down and no rest can be had until they are captured and killed or arrested? You know what I mean? And prosecuted and convicted. Why can there be no rest? And once everything is all said and done and the objective is complete, now it's Boston strong. You understand? Now we strong for that. So what are we supposed to be? Weak? We supposed to be a weak people, and man, let's just take that. We shouldn't want them to pay for slavery. You know what I mean? If you kidnap somebody right now, that's a crime. You know what I mean? You're going to pay for that crime that you did in kidnapping someone. So why do our oppressor never have to pay? So if the Most High is just, why would he allow this to happen without there being any repercussions for it? All right, so let's read on. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. And that's all we talking about. You know what I mean? He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. We've been killed with the sword endlessly. You know what I mean? The modern day sword is the gun. And that's what they're killing us with now. You know what I mean? That's what the oppressor is killing us with now. He got the gun on his hip. He pulls it out and he shoots you for any reason and gets away with it scot-free. You understand? Whatever he pulled that gun for, as long as he's in fear for his life, it's okay. It's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. It's okay. He can murder us. And, when we speak out about it or anything like that, it's wrong. You know what I mean? It's not wrong. It's very right to want and healthy. And if you are a free so-called black, Hispanic, and Native Indian, you should want them to receive lethal injection for the crimes that they committed against our people. You know what I mean? And that is only right. That is only the right thing. You kill it with the sword, you must be killed with the sword. That even stands today in America. You know what I mean? You got some states where you can receive the death penalty. You know what I mean? By lethal injection. Death by lethal injection. You kill people, you murder people out here in these streets, and the police catch you, you can receive the death penalty for it. By lethal injection. They used to put you in the chair. You know what I mean? They used to give you the chair and put the joint over your dome piece and shock you until you die. You understand? Electric chair. That used to be the death penalty. Alright? And that's what our oppressor deserves for what he's done to us. They deserve the death penalty. Okay? Here is the patience and the faith of the saints. And now here's the patience and the faith of the saints. So now, like I said, we're not going out here and killing and destroying and flipping over police cars and all of that, setting them on fire and burning down precincts and nothing like that, because that's not the justice that we're looking for. You know what I'm saying? That's just not what we're looking for. You know what I'm saying? The patience and the faith of the saints. You know what I mean? We wait on the Lord to deliver the justice for us. And it's not like we just sitting here, Jesus will come back. One day Jesus will come and, everything will be all right. And we just going to sit here and wait for Jesus. No, that ain't what we saying neither. We're not just saying sit there and wait for Christ to come back and things like that. No, that's not what we saying. We're not just sitting on our hands talking about Jesus going to save us. You know what I mean? No, we're not doing that. We saving ourselves right now. You know what I mean? We trying to make our election sure. You know what I mean? Because destruction is promised to this kingdom. And you know what I'm saying? You can get caught in the crossfire, or you can you can be spared. You know what I mean? And everyone, and it's true, we trying to make our election sure. You understand? And that's what we must do. You know what I mean? That what we must do. This is the patience and the faith of the saints. You know what I mean? Our faith is that Christ and the angels of the Most High will return and they will destroy this kingdom. You know what I mean? The prophecies of the Lord unfold, and you know, day to day that this is, you know, we starting to see the biblical prophecies come to pass, and we seeing the destruction of this kingdom more and more every day. You understand? We are seeing it every day. You know what I mean? And we believe truly that Christ and the angels, they gonna come and destroy this kingdom. You know what I mean? It say, the scriptures say Christ gonna look like he had a vesture dipped in blood. You know what I mean? Because that's how much killing Christ is going to do when he returns. All right? He gonna do that much killing, and because we believe that, what do? We stop eating pork, crab, shrimp, and lobster. You understand? Because we believe that, you know what I mean? We stop pumping drugs on the block. We stop, you know, robbing and stealing and lying and being deceptive and manipulators and things like that. We stop doing those things. You know what I mean? We start dealing righteously and in brotherhood and in sisterhood. You know what I mean? That's how we do it. Okay? So, that's the patience and the faith of the saints. You know what I mean? Like, it's so much temptation out here in the world. So much temptation out here in the world that you think you can become impatient. Okay? You can become impatient. You can slide right back into the world and you can do everything that you did before. You know what I mean? But this is the patience and the faith of the saints. You know what I mean? What does the scripture say? It say, woe unto the wicked servant that say, my Lord delayeth his coming. You know what I mean? Like, we to become impatient, that's somebody that's a wicked servant and say, man, Christ ain't never coming back, man. You know what I mean? I might as well just smoke all the weed. I might as well just pop all the horse. You know what I'm saying? I might as well just rob everybody. I just might as well steal everything and lie to everybody and get what I want and do everything that I want to do while I'm here. You only live once. YOLO. You understand? That's what a wicked servant says. You know what I mean? But that's the patience and the faith of the saints. You know what I mean? We know that Christ is going to deliver judgment. The Most High is going to deliver justice to so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, and he's going to use Christ and the angels to do it. You understand? And because of that, we obey the Most High. Our objective is to provoke the Most High to bring back the 144,000, so that way, you know what I mean, Christ can come and reign and deliver judgment to this kingdom. All right? So, let me read. Salakia, bear with me, y'all, 1 second, all right? Bear with me 1 second. Okay, turn it down. No sweat. No sweat. Solid on that. Y'all bear with me, Salakia. Just want to make sure. Whew. Right. Okay. No sweat. Alright, no sweat, no sweat. So, we back. Okay. We're definitely back. Alright. So, with that being said, let's keep it pushing, alright? Let's keep it pushing. We're going to go to hold on, bear with me. Let's get it. We're going to go to Galatians 6 and 7. Let's go to Galatians 6 and 7. All right. Galatians chapter 6 and verse 7. Be not deceived, right? So don't be fooled, man. You know what I mean? Don't let the Christian pastor. Oh, hold on, let me see. Let me just read it. Be not deceived. God is not mocked. You know what I mean? Our power is not mocked. You know what I mean? Don't be deceived by the Christian pastor that's telling you that God is all love and forgiving and to love your neighbor and to turn the other cheek or what have you. You know what I'm saying? Like don't listen. Don't be deceived. They're gonna try to deceive you. Everybody gonna come and act like they know the word of the Most High, and they're gonna try to deceive you and tell you, you know, God is all love. God is all love. What have you? And that we supposed to love your enemy as yourself and all of these things like that. You know, that's what they're gonna try to tell you. You know what I mean? In order to get you to believe that the Lord is forgot about slavery. The Lord is, he don't care about what happened to the 12 lost tribes of the nation of Israel. You know what I mean? And that we should just forgive and forget. All right? Be not deceived. God is not mocked. You know what I mean? Our oppressor has done a terrible thing in destroying the Lord's chosen people to the capacity that they did. You know what I mean? Let's read on. For whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap. So whatever you soweth is like you plant the seed. So whatever seed you plant, best believe you're going to get that. So when you reap, that's when you reap the harvest. Whatever you put in and it grows, that's what you're going to get in return. You know what I mean? And our oppressor is going to reap what he sowed because they've done wickedly unto us. You know what I mean? They've done evil and non-stop evil and continue to do evil to us. And because they've done that, they will get evil back. You understand? And it's only right. It's only right. You know what I mean? That they receive the evil that they have done. They've done nothing but rob. They've done nothing but steal and lie and kill and murder and destroy and rape and all of that. They've done nothing but just be horrible people. You understand? That's what they've done. And because of that, they will receive horrible things in return. You understand? And they deserve it. You understand? They deserve the horrible things that they receive because that's what they put in. You know what I mean? They've done nothing but horrible and terrible things. So it's only right that they receive the horrible and terrible things that come to them, like COVID-19 and famine and all the what's going on right now in the world. That's from the Lord, and it's only right, and it's because they deserve it. All right? Let me see. All right, no sweat. Let's go to Job 16 and 17. All right? Okay, what's going on here? Bear with me. Job chapter 16, all right, and verse 17. Was that it? Hold on, Salaki. Good night, Job 30, Salaki, and 16. Salaki, y'all. Job 30 and 16. Alright. And now my soul is poured out upon me. The days of affliction have taken hold upon me. My bones are pierced. Is this the one I was looking for? Hold on, man. Salaki, y'all. This is not what I was looking for. Bear with me 1 second. I'm going to get it. All right. It's locking, not Job. Jeremiah. 30 and 16. Salakia. All right. Jeremiah 30 and 16. Salakia. Therefore, Salakia, Jeremiah 30 and 16. Therefore, all they that devour thee shall be devoured. All of them that have devoured us, they shall be devoured. That devoured the Lord's chosen people, so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians, meaning they've sought after to destroy us. They hunted us, they preyed on us, and they murdered us. You know what I mean? They devoured us. They killed us like a lion kills a zebra, like a lion kills a gazelle. They've murdered us. Okay? They've devoured us. All thine adversaries, every one of them shall go into captivity. And all of our enemies, your adversary, someone who's your adversary is your enemy. And it says all your adversaries, every one of them, every one of our adversaries. So it doesn't matter if you so-called African, Asian, of Asian descent, of European descent. It doesn't matter where you come from. Anyone who is an enemy to our people, who has become an enemy to our people, every one of them shall go into captivity, meaning every one of them is going to go into slavery. All right? Let's read on. And they that spoil thee shall be a spoil, and they that spoil us shall be a spoil. You know what I mean? Them that they rob us, the ones that have robbed us, they will be, we will, they took all of our goods and what have you in warfare or what have you. When we go to war with them, when the Lord goes to war with them, then they will be Salaki. They will be our spoil. All right? You know what I mean? Like if you ever heard of the spoils of war. All right? Let's read on. And all that prey upon thee will I give for a prey. So like I said, so everyone that preys upon us, everyone that everyone that has been a predator to so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians, and they preyed on us. They preyed on us. You know what I mean? Meaning they stalked us, they watched us, they figured out how they could, kill us and execute it and get away with it. Everyone that has done that will I give a prey unto thee. They going to be a prey for us. Thus saith the Lord. All right? For I will restore health unto thee, and I will heal thee of thy wounds. The Lord knows we destroyed. You know what I mean? Right now we destroyed as a people. The Lord is going to heal our wounds. He's going to heal all of the the problems that we suffer from. You know what I mean? Carnal, spiritual, all of it. You know what I mean? High blood pressure, diabetes, all of that. You know what I mean? Whatever we suffering from, poverty, mass incarceration, the Lord is going to heal our wounds. We have been wounded tremendously, and the Lord is going to heal it. You know what I mean? Saith the Lord. Because they called thee an outcast, saying, this is Zion, whom no man seeketh after. Right? Let me see. That's it for that one. All right, let's move on. Let's go to, once again, this is all in the scriptures, man. It's all throughout the Bible about the other nations going into slavery. All right, Salakia. Let's go to who was I? Isaiah 14 and 1. Let's go to Isaiah chapter 14. I don't know why it's doing that now. Isaiah 14 and 1. All right. Isaiah chapter 14 and verse 1. For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob. So the Lord gonna have mercy on Jacob. Who is Jacob? Jacob is the forefather of so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. You know what I mean? The 12 tribes that make up the nation of Israel. That's, he's the father of the 12 tribes that make up the entire nation of Israel. Jacob, that is. All right? So it say, for the Lord will have mercy on Jacob, and the Lord is going to have mercy on us. You know what I mean? Let's read on. And will yet choose Israel. Okay? And he's going to yet choose Israel. All right? So he's going to choose us and have mercy on us. All right? And set them in their own land. All right? And he's going to set us in our own land. Like I told you, when we take the kingdom, the Lord going to give us our own land. You know what I mean? The Lord said he's going to set them in their own land. We're going to have our own land. We will have dominion over the earth. Okay? And they shall cleave to the house of Slakia, and the strangers shall be joined with them. And the strangers shall be joined with them. Who's the strangers talking about in this context? Slakia. The strangers is talking about the so-called heathens. You know what I mean? Not the so-called heathens, but the heathens. Meaning those people that are non-Israelites. So they would be considered strangers. You know what I mean? You could be considered a stranger if you're an Israelite, but in this particular context, this is talking about, those people that are non-Israelites. So, anybody outside of our nation, those are the strangers that it's talking about. So let's read on. And the strangers shall be joined with them. Now, does this mean that we all going to come together in peace and harmony and unity and, love and hug and kiss one another? No, that's not what it's talking about. But it said they shall be joined to them. Let's find out how they're going to be joined to them. And they shall cleave to the house of Jacob. So they're going to cleave to the house of Jacob, meaning they're going to cleave to the 12 tribes of Israel. You know what I mean? Once we have dominion over the earth and all of that, they're going to cleave to us. They're going to be what? What does that mean? That means that to cleave onto, so they're going to be dependent upon us. You know what I mean? Just like we are dependent upon our oppressors right now. You know what I'm saying? And they're going to come to us for, EBT and welfare and Section 8. They'll come to us. They'll be dependent on us. We'll give them jobs. We'll feed them. You know what I mean? We'll have food banks for them to come visit if they're hungry and things of that nature. That's how it's going to be. They're going to cleave to the house of Israel because they will be dependent upon us because we will be in rulership and they will be subject under us. All right? And the people shall take them and bring them to their place, and the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord. And it said they're going to possess them. What does it mean to possess someone? It means that you are a possession. You are the property of such and such. You know what I mean? So we're going to take them for a possession, meaning the non-Israelites that are going to cleave onto us, we will have them as a possession. You know what I mean? You're going to have one of them cats in your house cooking and cleaning and mowing the lawn and, tilling the ground and making, wine and strong drink. You understand? Everything. Getting it nice and proper, everything. Right up in there. You know what I'm saying? While you in there, you just, kicking your feet up and giving the orders as to what needs to be done, and you will do it. All right. Let's read on. For servants and handmaids. Like I said, they're going to be for servants and handmaids. Their purpose in the kingdom will be to serve a so-called black, Hispanic, and Native Indian. You understand? That's going to be their purpose. They're going to be servants and handmaids. The same way that our women used to nurse their babies and take care of them and, change their diapers and watch them while they go out and do all kind of things and stuff like that. That's the same thing that they'll do. They'll watch our children and they'll comb their hair 100 times and they'll braid it and they'll make sure everything is nice. They'll wash their clothes. They'll hang them up. They'll make sure they're nice and ironed out and smelling good and wonderful. And food is on the table and food is made excellently and served on the finest, dishware possible. You know what I mean? Eating out of gold and silver plates and forks and spoons and all of that. Listen, man, that's how it's going to be. All right? Servants and handmaids. And they shall take them captives. They're going to take them captives. I mean, they're going to be our slaves. Whose captives they were. So they're going to be our slaves. You know what I mean? We're going to take them for our slaves. Whose captives they were. Whose captives whose was. Who we was their captives. We were their slaves. But there's going to be a point in time when they become our slaves. Okay? And they shall rule over their oppressors. And we're going to rule over our oppressor. We're going to rule over him. Something serious. You know what I mean? With rigor. You know what I mean? We can do that. It's lawful for us to do that with rigor. You know what I mean? Not a fear Israelite or nothing like that, but we will rule over them with an iron rod. You know what I'm saying? Our oppressors. And that's righteous. Okay? Okay, let me see. That might have been it. All right. I'll sit on that. Let's go to Numbers. Let's go to Numbers 24 and 18. Bear with me. Yeah, so let's go to Numbers 24 and we'll start at verse 18. Okay? So, might want to pull that in there. No, we just read it. And Edom shall be a possession. Alright? Edom, who is Edom? Edom is the progenitor of the so-called white races. You understand? He's the father of the white race. That's who Edom is, biblically speaking. Alright? And it says, Edom shall be a possession. So when we say that, our oppressor, meaning, Edom is going into captivity, is going to be our slave, that's biblically correct. You know what I'm saying? It's not something that we're making up and we just trying to, sound hardcore or nothing like that. But it's biblically correct that Edom, the so-called white race, would be slaves to the so-called, well, not so-called, but would be slaves to the Israelites, so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. That's what it says in the Bible. It says, and Edom shall be a possession. Seir also shall be a possession for his enemies, and Israel shall do valiantly. Seir, what is that? Seir's Mount Seir, that was their inheritance. You know what I'm saying? So they're not going to have an inheritance. Everything that, our oppressor owns, anything that he had for an inheritance will be ours. You know what I mean? The scriptures say that we shall spoil them. You know what I'm saying? We're going to take all the spoils, so we're going to take their land. They took our land. You understand? What makes you think that we won't take their land? And it's right. And realistically, we're not taking their land. All we're doing is Seir was actually, that was theirs. But at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying, they took our land. So what makes you think that we will not take theirs? And if we take any land back in the so-called Americas or what have you, you know what I mean? Well, realistically, the whole earth was intended to be ours anyway. You know what I mean? The Lord made the world for our sakes. You understand? So everything that's here is for us. You know what I mean? For the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. If you want to be technical about it. All right? And Israel shall do valiantly. Okay? And that's how we're going to do. We're going to do valiantly over our oppressor. All right? We keep it pushing too. So that's it for that. And now, I just want to go into, us being slaves, this is more proof that the scriptures are like this. The Bible is a living book. You understand? It ain't stop at Job. It didn't stop at Ezekiel. It didn't stop at Jeremiah. It didn't stop at Zechariah, Zephaniah, and you know, the Bible is a living book. You understand? And it's manifold. You know what I mean? So different things are applicable to, you know, certain things in the Bible. All right? It's not just, you know, one track. You know what I mean? But once you understand the spirit of it, now you be able to apply it to different things and, you know, be able to make sense of it. So, you know, but with that being said though, what's so great about the scriptures that, you know, what validates it is the future and not the past. You know what I mean? Whatever was given to us in the past is, you know, very difficult to validate. You know what I mean? You got to go to the ends of the earth. You got to try to find all different type of remains and things like that in order to prove it. But with the scriptures, what it does is it's almost like a reverse authenticity. You know what I mean? Like we don't really have to go and we got it. We can get the archaeology and the history or what have you. But what really validates the scriptures is the biblical prophecy. You understand? What comes to pass that was prophesied in the scriptures that was going to come to pass. All right? So let's get into it. Let's go to Jeremiah 17:4. Let's go there. Woo. 17:4. And thou, even thyself, shalt discontinue from thine heritage that I gave thee. Right? Meaning thou, us, as a people, we would discontinue from this was biblical prophecy that we would discontinue from our heritage that the Lord had gave us. Meaning we would stop celebrating, we would stop keeping the high holy days, we would stop keeping the Sabbath, the Passover, Feast of Tabernacles, Feast of First Fruits, Memorial, the blowing the trumpets, Day of Atonement, you understand? Feast of Dedication, Purim. We would stop keeping all the high holy days. We would stop keeping the biblical laws that, you know, gave us our structure as a people. You know what I mean? We would stop, you know, we would just lose our heritage completely and, you know, who we were as a people. You know what I mean? We would forget the fact that we are Israelites. You know what I mean? We would lose that and not, man, now I'm calling myself so-called Puerto Rican, which is rich port, or Dominican, which means loyal dog, or Haitian, which means Hades. You know what I'm saying? All these different things, you know, I'm identifying myself by. And it was prophesied in the scriptures that this would happen to our people, that we would discontinue from our heritage. All right? Oh, man, where is that at? I just lost this a lot. 17:4. All right. And thou, even thyself, shalt discontinue from thine heritage that I gave thee, and I will cause thee to serve thine enemies in a land which thou knowest not. This was prophesied that we would be slaves inside of America was biblical prophecy. You understand? He said that we're going to cause us to serve our enemies in a land which we knew is not. You know what I'm saying? We originally come from the land of Israel. You know what I'm saying? But we made our way over to the Americas. You know what I mean? During slavery or what have you. All right? And what do they call America? America, they call it America where no man has ever dwelt. The land where no man dwelt, or something along those lines. You know what I mean? And thou, even thyself, shalt discontinue from heaven, and I will cause thee to serve thy enemies in the land which thou knowest not. For ye have kindled a fire in my anger, which shall burn forever. You know what I mean? So the Lord said, we have kindled a fire in his anger. You know what I mean? Meaning what? Meaning we have got the Most High heated. The Most High is heated at us. You know what I mean? He's very upset. He's angry with us. You know what I mean? We kindled the Most High's anger. You know what I mean? We kindled his Most High's anger when we started going off and backsliding and you know, and breaking the law, statutes, and commandments of the Lord, and getting caught up in all of these other ideologies, and being up under these other nations and trying to join ourselves to them or what have you. We anger the Lord. We do that. Being Christian and Islamic and things of that nature. That's things that inflame the Most High. That's things that make the Most High heated. You know what I mean? Like, how dare us turn our back on the Lord? You know what I mean? When He would be the protection that we need. He would be the one that guides us and tells us what to do and what not to do in order to protect us and keep us safe. You know what I mean? We go off and we want to serve the God of our oppressors. We want to serve Caesar Borgia. We want to serve Allah. You know what I mean? We want to serve the mummy stone, the tombs and all of that. You know what I mean? All of that trash. But we have kindled the Most High's anger. And it say, we shall burn forever. Now, forever doesn't mean for an eternity. But when it's saying forever, it's just saying for a long time. You know what I mean? That's what it's talking about. It's just saying for a long time. It's just, what do you call that? Is that a hyperbole? I believe it's a hyperbole when, you exaggerate a point in order to emphasize it. You know what I mean? That's all that is right there. All right? Let's read on. Matter of fact, let's drop that. All right? Let's go to Psalms 83. Psalms chapter 83. Y'all bear with me. Oof. And snap. Let me see. 3. Right. Let's start at verse 2. Well, let's start at verse 1. Psalms 83 and verse 1. Keep not thou silence, O God. Hold not thy peace, and be not still, O God. Right? So, we saying, we screaming to the Most High. Listen, keep not thy silence. We want the Lord to speak on our behalf. Shalaki. And be not still, you know what I'm saying? And we want the Lord to be moved into action for all the atrocities that our people have been suffering. All right? For lo, thy enemies make a tumult. The enemies of the Most High, those who come against the Most High, are an enemy to him. Our oppressor, our slave master is an enemy to the Most High. You know what I mean? He blasphemes against the Lord. You know what I mean? He destroys the Lord's chosen people. You know what I mean? That makes him an enemy of the Most High. You know what I mean? And he's against whatever the Most High, like everything the Most High stands for, our oppressor is against. You know what I mean? The Lord say pork is unlawful to eat. The oppressor says it's the other white meat. You understand? We say the Lord say that homosexuality is, a death penalty offense. Once again, our oppressor says what? It's an alternative lifestyle. You understand? It's everything that the Lord stands for. Our oppressor stands against, and because he stands, in opposition to the Most High, that makes him an enemy. All right. The Most High never wanted us to be destroyed in this kingdom without, our heritage and our culture and knowing who he is or what have you. He never wanted it to be like that. The whole purpose as to why he did it was to get us back onto the right path. That's why the Lord did it, was to, a little chastisement, give us a little correction so we get right back on the path. But our oppressor being such the devil, you know what I mean, that the Bible speaks of, all he can think about is how to keep us slaves forever. That's all he could think about doing, is just keeping us his slave for an eternity. You know what I mean? That's it. And what better way to do that than this? Let's read on. For lo, thy enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee, Salakia, have lift up the head. All right? They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people. All right? Like, they behind these closed doors, man, all they do is plot and scheme on how to destroy the Lord's people. You know what I mean? Whether it's with abortion, whether it's with drugs, whether it's with smallpox and the blankets, you know what I mean? Whatever they can think of, whether it's, murdering you, committing genocide on your whole nation, and stealing the land right up underneath your feet, whatever they can think of on how to destroy you, they've done it and they continue to do it. You know what I mean? They have taken crafty counsel against our people and consulted against our hidden ones. They have said, come, let us cut them off from being a nation. All right? That the name of Israel may be no more remembrance. And this is what they took, this is what they made a terrible, terrible mistake. You know what I mean? And this, once again, this is prophesied that this will come to pass, that we will lose our identity. And this is how we lost it, you know what I'm saying, with our oppressor. But because of our oppressor. It says, hold on. Let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel be no more in remembrance. And that's what they tried to do. You know what I mean? You want to know why you don't know you're an Israelite? You want to know why, why is this? You know what I'm saying? It's because of the oppressor. You know what I mean? And that's why I say they made that vital mistake, is because the Lord never intended us for not to know who he was. You understand? Like not to so we would never know who we are. You understand? Like, that's just crazy. You know what I mean? Even in what you call, when we was slaves in Egypt. When we were slaves in Egypt under the Ethiopians, and we knew we were Israelites. The whole thing with the Lord was that he just wanted us to come and serve him for 3 days in the wilderness. You understand? That's it. You know what I mean? He wanted us to come serve him for 3 days in the wilderness. And because of that, because Pharaoh would not permit us to go and serve the Lord for 3 days in the wilderness, because of that, the Lord sent all the plagues on Pharaoh. You know what I mean? So now imagine how much more worse it'll be when the Lord wants us to come back and serve him, and we are unable to come back and serve him properly because our oppressor has, had an agenda to wipe out our identity, that we would never remember it again. You know what I mean? That the name of Israel be no more remembrance. Now you got the oppressor perpetrating to be the Israelites, perpetrating to be the Jews. You know what I mean? You look and you think, no, there ain't no way I'm a Jew, because the Jewish man is in the land of Israel right now, and he's living there, and he's, in the synagogue and, doing his worship thing. So that is not me. That's those people. You know what I mean? They taking crafty counsel, and now, you know what I mean? But what the problem is that, they are hindering the Lord's people from coming back to serving the Lord. You know what I mean? That's a hindrance. You know what I mean? It's a major, major block. You understand? So, let's read on. For they have consulted together with one consent, they are confederate against thee. You know what I mean? They come together against the Most High. You know what I mean? Like, do they think they coming against they just think they coming against so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. But, ultimately what they doing is they making themselves an enemy to the Most High, and they are stepping to the Lord in doing that. You know what I mean? And the Lord will let you grow as strong as you can possibly become, and, achieve whatever military might you want to achieve, and let you think that, you something solid and strong and unstoppable, and you can't be beat or nothing like that. You know what I mean? The Lord will let you think that. He'll let you think that, but at the end of the day, he just lets you get up to that point just to show you how powerful he is. You understand? He lets you get as strong as you want to become. You know what I mean? You are not even a match for him on any level, but become as strong as you needed. You cats, call you out and say, I give you 2 weeks. You know what I'm saying? No sweat. You give me 2 weeks? Give me 1 week. No sweat. All right, yeah. We going to come back 1 week, and we going to come back to this spot, and we going to fight. You know what I mean? They come back to the spot. Next time, you know what I mean? Cat say, give me one more week. Give me one more week. Other cat like, no sweat. Yeah, go ahead. You got one more week. Go ahead. Come back. He even bigger and stronger now. You know what I'm saying? Shoot, he like, man, just give me one more week. And it's, oh, listen, one more. And the brother say, you know what? I'll give you that one more week. Go ahead. And the cat come back even more strong and powerful and fast and with the most stamina and speed and timing and all. And he's just outstanding. You know what I mean? And then he steps to the brother that gave him all of the time to get as strong as he wanted to get. And then within a matter of 1 second, the knockout blow is delivered. And the cat that did all that thing to get all that stuff to get strong and mighty or what have you, it was all in vain. Because his destruction came so quickly. You know what I mean? He proved nothing by getting all the muscles he can get, getting as big and strong and fast and the most stamina he wanted to get. All of it was in vain, and all of that really did was made everybody have more respect for the brother that did no training and knocked you out anyway. You understand? He said, dang, this cat he didn't do nothing. That cat came out, he got all big and strong and all of that, and you telling me he got knocked out with one punch? Man, at the end of the day, they're going to respect the other brother. Did no training and still knocked you out. You understand? And that's how the Lord do. You know what I mean? The Lord lets you get nice and strong. He don't even have to prepare for you because you're just no match for him anyway. All right? So let me see where I was at. All right, no sweat. Let me just start to name all the nations. Let's go to Amos 7 and 17. Let's go there. You know what? Hold on, before I go there, right? I might have to skip some stuff. Amos chapter 7 and verse 17. Therefore, thus saith the Lord, thy wife shall be a harlot in the city, and thy sons and thy daughters shall fall by the sword, and thy land shall be divided by a line, and thou shalt die in a polluted land, and Israel shall surely go into captivity forth out of his land. Okay? Once again, it was always prophesied in the scriptures that we would go into captivity. You know what I mean? And it said, this is Salam, let me read it one more time. Therefore, thus saith the Lord, thy wife shall be an harlot in the city. I mean, thy wife shall be a harlot in the city. We look around at our sisters today, and we look at what's going on. Our sisters on the stripper poles. You know what I mean? They out there, they prostituting on the strip. They, it's just the facts of life. You know what I'm saying? And they giving it up for some red bottoms or what have you. You know what I mean? And a little bit of ice. That's how it's going down out here. Our sisters being harlots in the street. You know what I mean? That's what's going out. That's what's really going down. You know what I'm saying? Sisters, sleeping off on their husbands. And that's a normal thing. That's become the norm for a sister to have a husband and then go sleep around on her husband. You know what I mean? That's the norm. You know what I mean? It's not like it's something that's abnormal or something that's, shunned or shamed upon you for or anything like that. It's quite the norm. You know what I mean? This talks about it and how you should do it and how wonderful it is and this and that or what have you. You know what I mean? Therefore, thus saith the Lord, thy wife shall be a harlot in the city, and thy sons and thy daughters shall fall by the sword. You know what I mean? Thy sons and thy daughters shall fall by the sword. Who's our sons and our daughters? Those that come from us. You know what I mean? Our descendants, and they shall fall by the sword. You know what I mean? What is the sword? The modern day sword, as I said before, is the gun. You understand? And we can clearly see that our people, Rayshard Brooks, gunned down by the police. Our sons and daughters murdered, you know what I mean? Slacky. Fallen by the sword. They get hit with that banger, and their body drop, and it's over. You understand? They did that with the sister Corinne Gaines. They did it with Sandra Bland. They lynched the sister. You know, our sons and our daughters, they shall fall by the sword. Our oppressor is murdering us every day, and it's you know is biblically correct. This is what was prophesied to happen. And I'll get into, I put one quick scripture as to why it happens and what we can do to prevent it from happening. All right, but I'm gonna just finish this off. All right, and thy land shall be divided by line, and thou shalt die in the polluted land. We're going to die in the polluted land. You know what I'm saying? We die every which way in this polluted land. Whether it's by the police, whether it's by another brother, whether it's by, you know, any freak thing or you know, high blood pressure, heart attack, you know, natural illness. We dying by it. You know what I mean? We die in the polluted land. And Israel shall surely go into captivity forth of his land. All right, and we shall surely go into captivity. We going to go into slave forth of his land. You know what I mean? We was going to go into captivity. That's just it, point blank, period. All right, so I'm going to drop that, and then I'm going to go to Deuteronomy real quick, okay? I'm going to go to Deuteronomy, of course, the 28th chapter. All right. Give me one second. Do it 28, 48, and 49, all right? Before I go there, let's start at verse 1. And it shall, Deuteronomy 28, verse 1, and it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and to do all his commandments, which I command thee this day, that the Lord thy God will set thee on high above all nations. So meaning what? Meaning if we keep the law, statutes, and commandments that the Lord laid down for us to keep, you know what I mean? The Lord will set us above all the nations. Meaning that we would be the ones that are in charge. We'd be the ones that's in rulership right now if we obey the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High. And all these blessings shall come upon thee and overtake thee if thou shalt hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God. You know what I mean? And you hear the voice. How do you hear the voice of the Most High? You hear the voice of the Most High power, but you listening to the priests and the prophets of the Lord that's speaking the words of the Most High. You know what I mean? And if you listen to what the priests and prophets of the Lord is telling you to do, you know what I mean, and what not to do, and you abide by it, you know what I mean, the Lord is going to be with you, all right? Blessed shalt thou be. No, so let's drop down. Hold on, let me go to 15, all right? But if it shall come to pass, meaning this is the foretelling also, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, I mean, you hear the priests and prophets, and we dropping it on corners, or you catching us on an online class or what have you, and you hear us and we dropping it and you listening and you know you hear what we saying and you acknowledging what is right, but you not listening to us. You're not listening to us with your actions, meaning you listening, you know, but you're not doing what we say to do. Okay? To observe and to do all his commandments. So to observe and to do all his commandments, meaning it's not being something that's you know. It's not you're not accompanying your listening skills with action. You understand? With actions to show that you are listening. You know what I mean? That you are being attentive and following what we saying. You know what I mean? You can't listen and hear us talk about, you know, all the evil of the oppressor and what it means to separate from him, and then, you know, before it, and then not do what it takes to accomplish it. You know what I mean? You're going to have a little backbone, you know what I'm saying? Have a little spine and get down in this thing, buckle down for real, get deeply rooted in here, so that way you can be solid, all right? Which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee, all right? So these are the punishments that we would suffer if we didn't listen to the Most High. So now let's drop down to 48, all right? Therefore, thou shalt serve thine enemy. So that was one thing that was going to happen to us. We were going to serve our enemies. Who was our enemies? I think we don't even have to say that at this point, all right? I think everyone knows who the enemy is, okay? Therefore thou shalt serve thy enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee in hunger and in thirst and in nakedness and want of all things. Meaning we was going to be dependent upon the oppressor. You know what I mean? and he sent him against us. You know what I mean? He sent the enemy against us. The Lord did that, and we was going to be in hunger. When we hungry, who do we go to? We go to the oppressor when we hungry. You know what I mean? When we thirsty, we go to the oppressor. You know what I mean? When we don't have any clothes, who do we go to? We go to the oppressor. And one of all things, you know what I'm saying? We going to be in one of this truth because we was not going to know this truth. You know what I mean? Let's read on. And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck, and he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck. They actually literally did this to the so-called Haitians, you know what I mean, when they had them picking the sugar cane. They had a device that they put around the necks of the so-called Haitians while they was picking the sugar cane, so that way they couldn't eat it, you know what I mean, while they was picking it, which was so diabolical. You know what I mean? This was actually literally done until he have destroyed thee, until the Lord has destroyed us, okay? And we are destroyed as a people. The Lord shall bring a nation against thee from far. You're going to bring a nation against us from far. You know what I'm saying? They came all the way from Europe. You know what I mean? They came all the way from over there, Europe, Spain, whatever, what have you. You know what I mean? And they came to the Americas. All right? And then what else? What does it say? From the end of the earth, as swift as the eagle fleeth. You know what I mean? As swift as the eagle fleeth. Now, here's another thing to take note of. As swift as the eagle fleeth, you got to understand, what is the national symbol for the Europeans? Predominantly. You know what I mean? When you go all throughout history and you look at the national symbol for the Europeans, you know what I mean? Whether you Spaniard or whatever you come from, you know what I mean? You'll always see that eagle. You understand? That is the national symbol. At some point in history, it's been there. You know what I mean? So let's read on. A nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand. When they came to the Americas, we were speaking Hebrew. You know what I mean? The native Indians greeted them and they said, Shema Yashala Yahweh Lahayanawa Yahweh Akkad. You understand? That's how we, you know, the credence. We said the credence, and that's how we spoke to them. We were speaking Hebrew. You can look at archaeology and see that the native Indians were speaking, reading, and writing Hebrew. All right? So we didn't understand that English when they came over here. You know what I mean? Nobody knew what the heck they was talking about. All right? A nation of fierce countenance, which shall not regard the person of the old, nor show favor to the young. You know what I'm saying? So that was pretty much it on that. But a nation of fierce countenance, they got a fierce countenance. That's why whenever we see the police behind us, we get shook up. You know what I mean? You start asking yourself if you good on everything. You make sure you solid. When the police get behind you, you see them blue lights, and you start tripping a little bit. You understand? You want to make sure everything is good, sitting up straight, both hands on the wheel now. You know what I mean? Why? Because they're a nation of fierce countenance. You know what I'm saying? You see them state troopers get on the road. I said, good night. Me and the brother was on the highway one time, broke down. And one of them state troopers rolled up on us like she was about to just snotty. Catch a body on her like something. You know what I mean? The way she was rolling on us. And I'm like, good night. She rolling on us like that. I'm like, yo, this broad is really, they trained to move in a certain way to intimidate you. But it doesn't work. But they was trying to do it. You understand? They tried to. You know what I'm saying? So, but a nation of fierce countenance. You see the military might, you see their police force, you see how they rolling. They send the riot squad out, the National Guard out on you. You know what I'm saying? A nation of fierce countenance. Like, what's your countenance? The countenance is your face, how you look. Okay? Which shall not regard the person of the old, nor show favor to the young. Nor show favor to the young. Well, see, I'm right over one time. Let me see. All right. You know, meaning they're not going to show favor to the old nor the young. You know what I'm saying? Whether we on the street, whatever they try to do, you know, and you know, however they move, it's always to murder us. You know what I mean? And they don't care if you a baby. They don't care if you elderly. They don't care if you middle-aged. They don't care if you young. It doesn't matter. You understand? It doesn't matter to them. They will murder you at the drop of a dime, and it won't move them in the slightest. All right? And with that, we right up on the time. So with that, I'm going to roll on y'all, Israel. Let me just check this joint real quick. Let me check this out. And then I'm going to pills off, all right? No sweat. All right. Mm-hmm. All right. Boom. Boom. What else? Boom. Boom. Okay. Where we at with it? All right. So with that, that's it. So with that, Shalom. Yahweh Shem Yahushua Brakathum, my brothers. Yahweh Shemal, the Thun Bahashem Yahushua to the sisters.